Hello, my name is Sally. I am one of the makeup artists working with Look Fabulous Forever, which is a makeup and skincare company specifically designed for older faces, ladies over the age of 50. I'm here today at McCarthy Stone Community in Harrow with two beautiful models. On my left, I have Vina, who is 69 years old, and on my right, I have Annie, who is 80 years old. Hard to believe. And today I am going to show and do a summer makeover on both my beautiful models, specifically for either a summer holiday or a summer event. So I hope you enjoy today's video. So the first primer that I'm going to use is Smooth Like Silk Face Prime. This is a fantastic product that contains aloe vera, very soothing, silica, and it does just what it says on the tin. It smooths out. So if you've got any open pores or any fine lines, it will just sort of smooth and blur them away. So I'm going to apply Smooth Like Silk Face Prime with my fingers. I use a couple of pumps, and I always put this on after moisturiser. So Annie has already moisturised her face earlier. It's always good to wait a few minutes, let your moisturiser sink in before using this product. And I'm going to put this all over the face, apart from the eyes and the lips. And as you put it on, you'll feel that it is incredibly smooth. So the second primer I'm going to show you today is for the eyes, and it is Smooth Out Eye Prime. And this again contains coconut oil. It's very nourishing for the eyes, but it's also a fantastic product to use. As we get older, we get a little bit of discoloration and we get some fine veins and things and a bit of pigmentation on the eyelids, which are very, very thin. So this product will actually just even out your eyelids so that when we apply our eyeshadow or eye products, it will last really, really well and will go on as a true colour. So I like to apply it with a concealer brush number 4. You can just use your fingers. Make sure your eyelids are dry and oil-free. Tiny, tiny amount, size of a pinhead really. I'm going to apply it over the movable part of your eyelid, a tiny amount, and blend it in, and then bring it up to really just above the socket line, which is where I'm going to be applying eyeshadow later. On Annie, just a small amount. The third primer I'm going to use today on Annie is Never Feather Lip Prime. This is a very clever product that will stop any bleeding of lipstick. So as we get older, we get a few little fine lines around our mouths, and this product is designed to prevent the lipstick from migrating into those lines. So it's really good to use before you put your lipstick on. So I'm going to just apply it just around the outer edge. Really important not to put it on the lips, just on the outer edge of Annie's lips. So it just gives it a chance to dry if you do it before you get to the lipstick stage. Light Look Beauty Balm. So this is a product that is one step up from a tinted moisturiser. I'm going to use the shade in 0.5 on Annie. And what it does is it gives a very healthy but quite light coverage, which is perfect for summer. So it will give good coverage, but just will look very natural. I'm going to put some on the back of my hand to put this on. It just glides on. Really easy product to use. You can use fingers to apply it if you prefer. And just blend it to just around, if you've chosen the right colour, just to around the jawline. You shouldn't need to go down your neck area. Cover to Cover Concealer. And I'm going to use shade 02. This is a really creamy concealer, which just gives a little bit of extra help where you need it. So if you've got any dark circles, or if you've got any broken capillaries or little sunspots. So I'm going to put a little bit just in the inner corner of Annie's eye. A tiny bit here around the eye area. I'm using my concealer brush number 4 to apply it in a sort of stippling action. And then I'm just taking my ring finger and tapping so that the concealer melts into the Light Look Beauty Balm without dragging. Never drag at the skin around your eyes because it's much thinner than everywhere else, so you don't want to drag at it. Translucent finishing powder, which is a really, really sheer, fine powder that is great for setting your makeup and keeping it in place all day, all night, particularly on a hot summer's day. So I'm just using my powder brush number 1, which is a lovely, soft, fluffy brush, to just sweep the powder over the entire face. Real Radiance blush, and I'm using shade Peach Cream. So this is a really easy to use blusher that I'm going to apply with my fingers. It's a cream blusher that turns into a silky powder, so it's very simple to put on. So I'm going to start by applying it just in the center of Annie's eye area, just sweeping it up in a teardrop shape. So I'm just tapping it on, and then I'm going to use my blusher brush number 2 to blend it in. This is the blusher brush, so I hold it firmly and just, because I put concealer on, rather than blending too much, I'm more sort of stippling it in because we don't want to move the concealer that we've carefully placed. Enduring Summer Bronze. This is a very pretty shade that you can use just as a bronzer or as a contour powder, or you can use a little bit, if you're slightly warmer toned, over your blusher just to give that a little bit more definition. So I'm going to do it both ways on Annie. So I'm going to use it first of all over the blusher that I've just applied, just to give a little bit more definition. So using my blusher brush, the same one that I used, just to give you that little bit more warmth, which is good if you've got some natural warmth in your skin tone. It looks a bit of a scary colour, but it doesn't come out. It's very, very natural. I'm now going to take the powder brush, number 1, and use it a little bit more as a sort of contour powder, a little bit just on the jaw lines, just where you naturally get sun-kissed as well, and just a little bit on the neck area, because sometimes the neck area is a little bit lighter than the face, so it just brings the neck and the face together so you don't have a floating face. Instant Bright Highlighter. This product allows you to highlight certain areas because it's lighter and light brings forward. So I like to apply this. It's a clicky pen, so just click the product. Annie's beautiful eyebrows. At the highest part, a little bit of highlighter which just brings that bit forward, which will just enhance her eyebrows even more. A little bit of highlight under the eyebrows is very effective and pretty. And I'm also going to put a little bit onto Annie's cheekbone so that it just reflects light away when she turns without looking obvious or too shiny like some highlighters do. It's just a very subtle, it gives a sort of dewy effect. Warm brown trio of our non-shimmer eyeshadows, and I'm going to use 2 of the products. I'm going to use the middle one, which is Cocoa, and the darker one, which is Chocolate. So I'm going to be applying these with our eyeshadow brush number 7. Okay, so let's take some of the Cocoa, and I'm just going to put this colour all over Annie's eyelid. It's a lovely warm brown which will complement her hazel eyes. So the second colour that I'm going to use from the warm brown trio is the darker lovely shade which is called Chocolate, and I'm going to use that just above Annie's socket line. This is a beautiful rich brown. I'm just bringing a tiny bit, just a tiny bit above the socket line, which will just help to lift the eye. Blend that with my lovely blender brush number 7. When you're using a darker colour, you need to blend it well. You don't want it to look like you've got an obvious dark colour. What I'm going to do now is to define Annie's eyes using our lovely soft eyeliner pencils. And the shade I'm going to use is dark brown, which will go really well with the warm brown trio. So it's a retractable pencil, so it doesn't need sharpening, really easy to use, really soft, glides on. I'm just going to do the base of Annie's lovely lashes. She's got lovely lashes. I like to do little short strokes rather than one long line. I find it goes on much more easily. So now I'm going to frame Annie's eyes using Lithe Lash Waterproof Mascara in black. Waterproof is great on a summer evening or a summer day, just to stop anything from moving. So I'm just wiggling the product through the base of Annie's lashes. Just coating them. Defining lip liner in shade Strawberry. And I'm not just going to outline Annie's lips, I'm going to fill it in so that you're not just left with a line if the lipstick does wear off, which hopefully it won't. So I'm going to just, first of all, go round on the outer edge. It's a really soft liner, not drying at all. And then I'm going to fill it in. So I've outlined, and now I'm just going to roughly fill in all of Annie's lip area before I put the lipstick on. It just gives a really nice base. Remember, we already put the Never Feather lip prime on right at the beginning, which will stop any feathering or bleeding of the lipstick. So now I'm going to apply a lipstick shade, which is a beautiful shade called Poppy. It's a very vibrant colour, which is lovely for summer. So that's lovely. So all I'm doing is just going over where we already placed the liner. So just filling in. And this will just balance out all the other makeup that we have done. So there we have it, 2 summer makeovers for Annie and Vina from McCarthy Stone. We hope you enjoyed today's video. Click the link below to enter the prize draw competition and to find out more about McCarthy Stone and Look Fabulous Forever.